Hello, Aquarius, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. I hope you are having a Happy New Year also. Let me wish you a Happy New Year. This will be our weekly reading for January 4th through 10th, which is the first full week of the new year, of course. So the first thing we have is a full moon that's on the 3rd, but that energy will probably kind of drift into the 4th a little bit as well. And then that can also, that full moon energy can be heightened emotions, a time when you might feel a little bit overwhelmed or anxious, maybe a little snappy and irritable, or you're just having some really good high energy. So hopefully it's positive for you, but do what you will with that full moon energy, however that affects you. We then have the waning gibbous energy for the rest of the week, which is a really good time of self-reflection and rebirth, good time to make positive changes and get rid of bad habits and negative thinking and try to work towards a more positive way of doing things, which I think is the great energy for the first week of the new year, first full week. A lot of people are working on those resolutions. My advice to you is just don't bite off more than you can chew. We've got those new moon cycles that come around every month, and that's a good time to make changes. So maybe make a list of the things you want to change throughout the year and kind of prioritize them and start with one thing right now and in January and work on that. And then when the next cycle rolls around, pick the next thing. So anyway, this will be an intuitive general reading for the energies that you may or may not encounter, Aquarius. So as always, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't for someone else. And your overall message for this reading is that you are good enough. And I always want to say, and gosh darn it, people like you every time I see that card. If you don't know what I'm talking about, because I'm really dating myself with the Stuart Smiley SNL skit. Anyway, if you know, you know. As I'm shuffling, my fun weekly reminder this week is that you maybe take time to meditate this week and maybe try to work that into your routine. Even if it's just 5 or 10 minutes a day, just to really close your eyes, calm yourself, get centered. Maybe think about your day ahead or the day behind you, whatever time of day you do that. And if you can do that twice a day, even better. But try to work meditation into your routine. It's just a really good thing. So that's my fun weekly reminder for you this week. All right, Aquarius, let's get into this reading. January 4th through the 10th, you are good enough. And your present energy right now is the Judgment card. So are you feeling like you are judging something, someone, or are you feeling judged? That card comes around on both sides, and it may be different for different Aquarians. So some of you may be judging something, and some of you may have just feel like that's on you. But judgment is about a new awareness. It's usually about new information that comes in that kind of could be a truth, could be a false truth, but where you're kind of making a judgment on something. So think about that. Think about that as we're moving through the reading here. Your current situation is the Ace of Cups. So maybe you're judging something, but you're also loving something. So it could be a very positive judgment that you're making. So think about that. You've got something that's coming in for you, with this Ace of Cups, that it's really just about having an open heart, and just really, literally, your heart's overflowing with joy about something that's happening in or around you, that you're very excited about. So that's good. At the root of your situation is the Hierophant. So, you're seeking out some sort of wisdom, guidance beyond yourself. This could be why you're at a tarot reading, but there's usually this tends to be in the spiritual realm, so you may have some spiritual things that are going on where you're kind of, looking around, reading things, paying attention to synchronicities, that sort of thing. So, that's kind of at the root. Maybe you've had some sort of a recent awakening, some sort of truth come at you, and that's why you have this judgment and this open heart. I mean, it could be that you're just very happy about some new spiritual revelation that you've had, which I think is really awesome. I will make a note and say that awakenings come in flows. It's not like you just get one spiritual awakening. I think I thought that when I was younger. And I found that as I get older, it's like an onion. It's layers and layers of like this awakening, and then this other thing happens, and oh, so it is kind of a phase thing that happens through your life at different points. So hopefully that's something you're going through now, and it's very positive for you. In your recent past here, the Three of Pentacles. So this is usually denotes some sort of work collaboration, working with others, usually working positively with others, coming together in some sort of community, but it's about being creative and collaborating with others. So that's something in your recent past, and maybe that has had an influence on you as well. Maybe there was something that you just learned through a recent collaboration that kind of changed your judgment somewhere about something, where you made a positive judgment and someone maybe had a positive influence on you. What is on your mind this week is some sort of celebration here with the Four of Wands. So it could be that um, that's something that you're thinking about. You're thinking about celebrating this thing that's going on with you, or this could just be an upcoming party. A lot of times that denotes a wedding. Maybe there's a wedding you're involved with that's coming up, and this newfound spiritual awakening that you're having is kind of making that even more special. Or maybe you've met someone and there's a wedding coming up for you. It could be, there's a lot of different connotations that could come up, but it's on your mind. It's something that you're thinking about a lot this week. What is just ahead of you this week is the Ace of Swords. I like it. We have two aces, cups and swords. So swords is going to be a big it's a big yes of something, of kind of an aha moment, mental breakthrough that you're having. So yeah, I do think this is maybe some sort of an awakening for you, and you're good enough. You're having this awakening. Don't waste this. When this comes around, this energy, I know that a lot of times we get a little caught up in it, but it doesn't hang around all the time. When you have an awakening, you do feel very light, and trying to think of the word that it's kind of an amazing thing when your eyes are open to something, but it does fade. So make sure that you're really in the moment and enjoying it. I always like to advise people kind of keep a spiritual journal. If you're having synchronicities and dreams and things that are coming about, write that stuff down, because you're going to want to remember it later. So just take a little snapshot, even if it's just in a journal, right? In your advice position here is the Three of Wands. So this is about new ventures and new things coming up for you. It's going to be about travel. You might be thinking about a trip or a vacation or something you're going to do in the coming year. Also, we have two threes on the table, so you might want to look up angel number 33 and see if that has any meaning for you this week. What is beyond your control this week is the Seven of Wands, which I've seen this in quite a few readings too, feeling a little bit like you against the world. So I feel like when I see a card come up in a lot of the different readings, that's kind of, to me, it's kind of a collective clue that there's something going on where there might be some contention, where all of us are kind of on one side or the other. So just make sure to respect everyone's feelings and listen. When something like that, maybe there's something that happens in the world and it causes us to kind of divide on different sides, but just make sure you're taking all that information in, and not choosing your side so harshly that you can't listen to others, where we do have that contention. I just wish that we could all listen to each other a little bit more, and hear all of those things out. What is your secret desire, or what you're trying to avoid, is the Five of Cups. So of course you're trying to avoid some sort of just kind of grief and sadness. That's also two fives on the table for you, so 3 3 and 5 5. um and it looks like, yeah, I doubt if that's your secret desire. So you're probably trying to avoid feeling sad. This might be just some letting go. A lot of times people feel this too around the first of the year, because maybe you had some things happen in the year past that it is kind of hard to let go. It's like, oh, I really enjoyed that year. I hate to see it go, but try to have that positive attitude so that you know that the next year is going to be even better. In your outcome, Aquarius, is the Six of Wands. So lots of wands showing up here towards the end of your reading. And this is about kind of getting a little pat on the back from maybe friends, family. This could be work related also. There's people around you, then someone that notices you and says, hey, I see what you're up to and I like it. And you're feeling a little, it's just a little smile on your face. It's nothing huge. It's not like people are dumping heaps of praise on you. It's just like one or two people are just saying the right thing to make you feel good. So that's always a good thing, right? What is hidden from you this week would be the King of Wands. So we started off here. Didn't we have, oh no, that was the other reading I was looking at. We didn't have a page for some reason. King of Wands is kind of hidden from you. So we've got a lot of wands going on. You're probably trying to master things in the passion realm, and you're not quite there yet, and that's okay. You're going to get there with whatever things that you're trying to master right now in that realm, things that really excite you and fire you up. And it could be a relationship here. You haven't really mastered it yet, and that's okay. You're going to get there when it comes to this particular thing. And you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It'll be different for all of you, but you'll know exactly what I'm talking about there. All right, let's get a final word from the Soul Oracle deck. Final word here for Aquarius, January 4 through 10. And the card that comes out here, don't push the envelope. Okay, don't push the envelope. Where? I'm not sure. Maybe here. Maybe in this. Again, I keep seeing this card. And I just want to say, I'll advise you as well, just be nice to each other. If there's something that goes on in the world and we're all kind of, this seems to be a new thing in the world. This didn't happen when I was younger, but it is now, where something happens, even just like in the media or something, and it's just, it's like oil and water. Everybody takes a side and there's a lot of back and forth. If something like that happens this week, just really remember again to listen to all the angles, because there might be some sort of division. I'm just really getting a sense of that. So, all right, what does Aquarius need to do in the way of self-care this week? Besides not pushing the envelope, and we're going to listen to everyone. Self-care for you, Aquarius. And the card that comes up for you is the card of Speak Up. If you avoid conflict to keep the peace, you start a war inside yourself. So, here I am telling you, listen. Also, yeah, you need to speak up, whatever this conflict things. Again, I feel like it's going to be for all of us. I don't know what it is. I'm not even getting any feelings that way, but I do feel like it's one of those public things that comes up and just divides everyone, because I've seen that card so much, and rarely has it had anything really to do with the reading. I feel like it's kind of standing alone. So yeah, speak up, but also listen. Let's all just have clear heads and keep our heads about us for whatever is facing us this week. So, Aquarius, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your time with me here today. And if you have a comment, or if you're comfortable sharing, letting me know, is there some celebration that's on your mind? Do you have something, some sort of awakening going on with you right now? I'd really love to hear that in the comments. Or if you have a question, I'd be happy to answer your question for you. Also, if you like my reading style, if you hit like and subscribe, it really helps my channel. I appreciate that so much. I really do. Thank you if you do that. And also, it'll help you find me next week, where you can come back and we can see where this story goes, or if there's a totally new energy here for you. So thanks again, Aquarius. Good luck with this awakening, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.